Welcome, everyone, to Bethel Lubitch's Synagogue, and Shabbat Shalom, everyone. All right, that was excellent, excellent energy. After a long week, that was very good. We are going to get started, actually, with some announcements, and I'd like to welcome up, she's already here, but welcome up our President Joy Schultz, who's going to be co-leading with me tonight. Yeah.
My first time, so be kind. Well, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
You already know who I am. And on behalf of the Bethel Board of Trustees, I'd like to welcome you to our Shabbat worship service. If you are new to our congregation, I met some guests coming in or attending as a visitor, please introduce yourself to Rabbi Dai. And those who have already introduced themselves to me, I will talk to you after. And if you haven't, introduce yourself to me too, please. We would like to give you more appropriate and personal welcome. It is a delight to spend this Shabbat with you. Please be respectful of others and silence your cell phones. That's what we were just doing. Celebrate the seasons in Sukkot and with us, and join us for an evening of appreciation for our members, featuring great food, music, and our famous Sukkoritas. Mark your calendars for October 19th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We can't wait to celebrate with you. This year, childcare will be provided and backed by popular demand, the Sukkarita. So look for your invitation in the mail. This year, please be sure to bring your tickets with you for all high holiday services. It is a security measure, and we would appreciate you honoring it. They will be checked at the door. And if you haven't received them, do not give up. They are on the way. And by the time, I'd say Rosh Hashanah, no, the day before, 2 days before, just call Amy at the office if for any reason they got lost in the mail. Okay. Save the date for the community trip to Israel in February on the 25th. And to know this is an adult-only trip. We have many more events coming up, and more detailed information can be found in your pamphlets and our Tuesday email bulletin. But please don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions. Thank you for being here, and good Shabbos.
Thank you, Joy.
Thank you.
So let us turn to begin our services with song on page 128, 128, with Hine Matov. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. And now we turn back to page 120, 120. And I'd like to invite up Neil Goldman to help us in the leading of the candle lighting and the Kiddush. The Kiddush is on page 123. We're going to start on page 120. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat. And And now we turn to page 123, 123, for the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ava u'ratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Thank you, sir. And now we're going to turn to page 142. 142 for Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu ni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Tzedchem l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. And now we turn to page 146, 146. I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. You may be seated. We turn now to page 148, 148. Please join us in the English.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alerts the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzviot is your name, ever-living God. May you reign continuously over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. And now we turn to page 150, 150. Please join together in the English.
Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by reaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, When we lie down, when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And now we turn to page 152, 152. Please rise in body or spirit for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. The Ve'ahavta is on page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta ba'am b'shivtecha b'beitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha uchtavtam המזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. And now we turn to page 159, 159. Please join together in the English.
Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravaged by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
And now we look back to page 158, 158, for Michamocha, our people's song of redemption. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. And now, the Hashkivenu is on page 160, 160. This is a week like every other week where I feel like we get to Shabbat and it is time to take a deep breath and to remember that hopefully by the time we get to Shabbat, we can carve out for ourselves some time for peace. Because the world as we know it can be very stressful, very hectic, and there's just so much going on, whether it's in our own lives or in the lives of others that we hear about, that on Shabbat we need a time to ask God for helping us to build a Sukkot Shlomecha, a shelter of peace. Hashkivenu, page 160. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. And now we turn to page 162, 162, for Vishamru. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Beni uven b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. And now we turn to page 164, 164, for the tefillah portion of our service. I invite you to rise in body or spirit. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'Konei Hakol, Ve'Zocher Chaste Avot ve'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Vezrat Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'ofech cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umito melach, Melech memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukdoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You may be seated. We turn to page 175, 175. I invite you to join together in the English.
Okay. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may be find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service.
Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha be'ira na'avod. And now we turn to page 177, 177. Please join together in the English.
God of goodness, we give thanks, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness and the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks.
Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'cha na'eh lehodot. And now we turn to page 177, 177. Shalom Rav is our prayer for peace and for all the things.
Another page.
Yeah. And for all the things that we are grateful for in our lives. We know that we are still praying for peace. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol et u'b'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam. We have prayed for peace, and now our thoughts turn to those who are in need of healing. The congregation is thinking for healing of Jim DeArmond, Pearl Levin, Ron Rappaport, Carol Friedman, Carol Wallace, David Cohen, Carol Solomon, June Van, Rabbi Michael Matchison, Sherry Chait, Jerry Chait, Larry Michaelov, Antoinette Worrell, Linda Chambliss, Judge Frank Caprio, Stuart Rosenthal, Fran Marcus, Howard Silvers, Helene Ben Bassett, Paige Hedrick, Vanessa Warner, Mike Hyman, Jaime Klinger, Carol Mandel, Jane Stewart, Kathy Weiner, Rob Moreland, Danny Cohen, Jamie Kinder, Velma Krasenstein, Ben Beltran, David Adler, Jeff Mayer, Linda Margolis, Sadie Charlotte Schwartz, Dean Fiandaka, Debbie Huffman, Dina Richmond, Sophie Krusky, all those Israelis still being held hostage, all Israelis injured in war, and all civilians injured in any war. We turn to page 371, 371. But before we start the Mishaberach, I'd like to invite anyone here that has a name of someone that they are holding in their hearts who's in need of healing to share their name when my eyes meet yours. I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the Mishaberach. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. May those who will not be healed on this earth be blessed with nights free from suffering and days filled with peace. May God grant strength and comfort to those who care for the sick. May God help us to find hope and courage as we face fear and loss. May all who are ill be surrounded by the love of friends, loving companions, family, and community. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated. And now I invite you to take a few moments for silent meditation for the prayers of your heart. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru, amen. So we've come to the sermon, and with a new time of year almost upon us, and finding a new piece of equipment in my office, I'm going to bring up a new stender, is one of the ways they refer to it. So still getting used to it, and it's still hiding below the bima until we figure out a good way to do this. Well, Shabbat Shalom again, everyone. All right, the energy is still here. Service has not exhausted you completely. As I was writing this sermon, Hurricane Helene was strengthening in the Caribbean. And I was worried. Many of us were worried. The sense of anxiety was in the air. And a lot of people were afraid. And that's normal. Being normal is justified under those circumstances. And now we know that Helene caused grave destruction. We know a lot of people lost power, a lot of people had their property destroyed. Friends of mine in Georgia have already told me that they lost power. And I've read in the news that people have passed away. So we were right to be worried. Fear of hurricanes, any hurricane, is rational and warranted. Fear is part of what makes us human, especially when we're faced with the unknown. Yet fear can lead us to act. It can lead us to protect what we hold dear and to prepare for what might come. In our double portion this week, we have Nitzavim and Vayelech. This speaks to the human experience of fear and courage. In the part that I want to focus on, Moses is standing before the people. It's one of his final moments as a leader. We know the story. We get to the end of the Torah. Moses stays on the other side of the Jordan, not allowed to cross into the promised land. He knows he must pass the torch on to Joshua, who will lead the Israelites into the promised land. I can only imagine that fear that Joshua felt taking over the reins from Moses. I don't know if any of you can visualize in your minds how you would have felt if Moses was about to pass on the leadership of all the Israelites to you. I would have been quaking in my sandals, as it were. A new land, new challenges, something unknown. The uncertainty of the future could have paralyzed all of the Israelites. But instead, Moses said something to give us strength. He said, Chazak ve'ematz. It means be strong and courageous. Now this same term, this same couple of words, is now one of the several standard Jewish values, Jewish ethics, called midot. And it's listed in the midot as ometz lev, courageous heart. Same idea, being strong and courageous, having a courageous heart. It can help us to get through our lives. During our lives, all of us are confronted with challenges that demand courage. Maybe not every day, but at multiple times during our lives. I know every single one of us here has needed courage at some point or another during our lives. Sometimes courage means standing up to take action, standing up for what we believe in. Other times, courage means holding off on action, taking a step back. Deciding which one we need to do takes wisdom and learning that only comes with living our lives as best we can. I want to tell you a story about a boy named Zeke. Zeke went to summer camp, and he loved summer camp. And the best thing about summer camp for Zeke was those ropes courses where you are walking high on a rope with a harness, a harness above you, but you've got to do your balancing. And finally this summer, Zeke was old enough to climb up to the top platform and to walk across the highest platform, the highest rope, still with the harness, but much higher than he had been the previous year. I don't know if anyone here has ever been on a ropes course where you're clipped onto a carabiner and walking across a rope. Heights aren't really my thing. And so I have done it, and that carabiner was like, I wasn't praying to the carabiner, but it was pretty close. It was very, very glad it was there. So I have been worried before in the same way that Zeke was worried on this ropes course. And even though he heard his friends cheering for him on the other side of the platform, even though he knew he had all the support he needed, he was stuck. His legs wouldn't move from that platform onto the rope. And then he remembered something that his camp counselor told him. His counselor told him, courage doesn't mean you're never afraid. Courage means you feel the fear and you trust that you're still going to make it through. Taking a deep breath, Zeke took one shaky step, and then another, until he made it across the rope onto the opposite platform, where all his friends congratulated him and hugged him, and he felt this real sense of accomplishment that he had made it. He had used his courage and made it across the obstacle. In this same way, although maybe not feeling like we're up as high above the ground, we are taking one step at a time closer to 5785, to the new year. We may fear the unknown. We may fear opening up to somebody, the agony that can come with being vulnerable and opening up to somebody and apologizing to them. We may also fear looking inside, looking at ourselves and figuring out, what do I want to change from last year to this next year? But we don't have to let fear stop us. We can be like Zeke, channel that courage. We know we have it. We've made it this far in our lives. We know we've got the courage. It's just a matter of channeling it and remembering that we have it and taking those steps. Moses' message to Joshua is also a message to us. Chazak ve'ematz, be strong and courageous. As we move forward into the new year, let us resolve to face that new year with courage. Let's commit ourselves to doing good work and being good people. Trust that when challenges arise, we will rise to meet them. It's easy to be overwhelmed by fear, but that's where our tradition helps us. Jews living Jewish values, living moral and ethical lives. We do our mitzvot, we commit acts of loving kindness, and we believe and we work for justice. This gives us a strong foundation from which we can be confident and know that we are moving in the right direction. We can still make missteps, but we know we're on the right path. Our traditions remind us that we are part of something larger than ourselves. We are part of a community, of people, and a story that has continued for thousands of years. So this Shabbat, let us take some time to rest. Time well deserved, for rest well deserved. Let us give ourselves space to reflect, recharge, and prepare for the new year. And when the time comes to step forward like Zeke, whether it's to mend a personal relationship, to make a change in our lives, or to confront a challenge in the world, let's do so with courage. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And now we turn to page 678, 678, for Hatikva, Israel's national anthem. I invite you to rise in body or spirit. Kol od balevav pnima, nefesh Yehudi homia, ulfate mizrach kadima, ayin letzion tzofia. Od lo avda tikvatenu, hatikva bat shnot alpayim, liotam chofshi be'artzenu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Liotam chofshi be'artzenu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Now I invite you to remain standing in body or spirit for the Aleinu, which starts on page 586. 586. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'goralenu kechol hamonam. Va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu notei shamayim v'yosed haaretz umoshav yikaro bashamayim mima'al Ushchinatu zo, begove meromim. Hu Eloheinu enod, emet malkeinu efes zulato, kakatuv betorato, v'dat hayom v'hashivota elevavecha, ki Adonai hua Elohim, bal shamayim mima'al, ve'al haaretz mitachat ein od. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. You may be seated. And now we turn to another reading.
595, please. Number 6. It is hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholesomeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were, in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do best homage in our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss, for each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world. In each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one, whose life now ended brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity and every life finds purpose.
Our thoughts turn to those whom we have lost. The congregation is remembering those who we lost within the last year. Uriel Betzel Belben Hinda, Erica Pearl, Anita Perlman, Ellie Reamer, Sydney Morris, Sandra Pachter, Jenny Wolfe, Dean Leeser, Senator Stanley J. Aronoff, Rodney Elk, Alan Hyman, Mary Louise Boyer, Buzzy Klausner, Gregory Wayne Berger, David Dunn, Barry Schoenfeld, Milton Margulis, David Shaknovsky, David Friedman, and David Cohen. We're also remembering those whom we have lost at this time in years past. Tootsie Backer, Stuart Beckerman, Michael Berger, Morton Fox, Francis Frankel, Dan Goldman, Matthew Gottesman, Lawrence Laser, Martha Latimer, Helene Lipkin, Barbara Loeb, Seymour Matchison, Frida Meinstein, Sarah Needleman, Molly Rodman, Rose Zubrau Rosenbluth, David Siegel, David Toll, Martin Trachtenberg, and Arnold Vandroff. If there's anyone here that is holding a name in their hearts that they would like to share with the community of someone that they have lost, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. We remember all of them, and we hold them all together as a community. I invite you to turn to page 598, and to rise in body or spirit for the Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, B'alma divrach irutei v'amlich malchutei, B'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalei amaya. Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitpa'ar, Yitzroman, Yitnaseh, Yithadar, Yitzaleh, Yitzhalal, Shmei Kudusha, Brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the one who makes peace on high bring comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, amen. You may be seated. Let's look to page 625, 625 for Adon Olam. Adon Olam asher malach
בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נעשה בחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל. לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשיל לו להכבירה, בלי ראשית בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, וצור חבלי בעת צרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי מיום אקרא, בידו אפקיד רוחי, בעת ישן ואירה, ואם רוחי גביעתי, אדוני לי ולא אירה.
That song seemed to get lower as I went. I have to choose a higher key next time. Sorry, everybody. Oh my gosh, that was low. All right. So, now it is my honor, our honor, to invite you to rise in body or spirit for the priestly benediction, the blessing, the same blessing that the priests said over the Israelites at the temple in ancient days. Page 603.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך.
Ken Ye Ratzon. May God bless you and keep you.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך.
Ken Ye Ratzon. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious unto you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום, שלום, שלום.
Ken Ye Ratzon. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.